All right, let's talk taxes. We're going to dive into what seems like the easiest part of your Canadian tax return, the personal information section. It seems so basic, right? But trust me, getting this part right is absolutely the secret to a smooth tax season. So let's break it down. So, filling out your personal info. Easy, right? I mean, it's just your name and address. And yeah, you're not wrong. But here's the catch. One tiny mistake, one piece of outdated info here, and boom, you could be looking at major headaches. We're talking delays in getting that refund you're waiting for, or even holdups on benefits you totally deserve. So why all the fuss? Let's get into why this all matters so much, because it's about way more than just telling the government who you are. It's really about making sure you get what's yours. Basically, the Canada Revenue Agency, the CRA, uses this info for three main things. First, to make sure it's actually you. Second, so they know how to get in touch. And third, and this is the big one, to figure out all the benefits and credits you're eligible for. And don't worry, they are legally required to keep all this stuff completely confidential. And hey, here's a super important tip to keep you safe from scammers. The real CRA will never ask you for things like your passport details, your health card number, or your driver's license info on a tax form. If you get an email or a call from someone who says they're with the CRA and they ask for that stuff, that is a huge red flag. It's almost certainly a scam. All right, let's dig into the real core of your identity, at least as far as your taxes are concerned. And I'll tell you right now, the name of the game here is consistency. Let's look at this example with Charles. See, if his first tax return used his full name, Charles Bellinger Chaplot, then that's the name he's got to use every single year. If he suddenly just puts Charles Bellinger, the system might get confused and flag it. So the takeaway here is simple. Use your full legal name, exactly the way the CRA already has it. Okay, next up, a number. Just 9 little digits, but they are probably the most important 9 digits when it comes to your taxes. And that, of course, is your social insurance number, or SIN. Think of it as your unique ID for working in Canada and getting all those government benefits and services. Now, if you're not eligible for a SIN for whatever reason, you'll have something similar, like an individual tax number, an ITN. Now, this is a huge one if you file your taxes online, so listen up. Let's say you moved or you got married and changed your name. You can't just type that new info into your tax software. It won't work. You absolutely have to update it with the CRA first. The easiest way is to log into your CRA My account online, make the change there, and then fire up your tax software. It's a simple step that saves a world of trouble. All right, moving on. Let's talk about where you live, your place on the map. And believe me, this has a massive impact on your tax return. The most important date to remember here is December 31st. The province or territory you were living in on that exact day, the very last day of the year, is what determines which provincial taxes, benefits, and credits you get. It doesn't matter if you moved on January 1st. What matters is, where were you at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve? This example with Lucy makes it super clear. So she's going to school in Alberta, right? But her usual home, where her family is, where most of her stuff is, that's back in Nova Scotia. So for tax purposes, even though she's physically in Alberta, her province of residence is still Nova Scotia. Okay, deep breath. Let's tackle what is honestly the trickiest part of this whole section for a lot of people, your marital status. It might seem like just one little checkbox, but believe me, what you tick here can have a huge effect on the benefits you're eligible for. So getting this right is absolutely critical. So what exactly is living common law in the eyes of the CRA? Well, it means you're in what they call a conjugal relationship, basically a marriage-like relationship with someone you're not married to. The one everyone knows is living together for 12 months in a row, but that's not the only way it can happen. Take a look at Malaya and Aryan. They moved in together in October. They didn't have to wait a whole year. Nope. As soon as their baby was born in November, boom, their status immediately became common law. That's because they're parents of a child together, and that rule can override the 12-month one. And that term conjugal relationship is the real key. Look at Cheyenne and Abigail. They've lived together for years, but they're roommates. They share rent, not a marriage-like life. So they both file as single, and that's exactly right. It's not about sharing an address, it's about the kind of relationship you're in. This is another common mix-up, the difference between being separated and just living apart. For tax purposes, separated means your relationship has broken down, and you've been living apart for at least 90 days because of it. If you're living in different cities for work or school, but you're still a couple, you're still considered married or common law. You are not separated.
Okay, we're in the home stretch now. Let's quickly go over the last few questions in this section. These are about how you want to hear from the CRA and a little something about voting.
Here's a quick and easy tip for you. If you put your email address on your tax return, the CRA is going to start sending you emails instead of paper mail. So if you're someone who prefers getting that official-looking envelope in your mailbox, just leave the email field blank. Simple as that. Then you're going to see a question about Elections Canada. It asks if you want the CRA to share your info with them. So, should you say yes? What does that actually do? Well, if you tick yes, the CRA will only share these 4 little bits of info: your name, address, date of birth, and a unique ID number. That's it. It's a super secure and crazy easy way to get on or stay on the voters list. And just to be super clear, none of your financial info ever gets shared. Ever. And this is a really cool feature for teenagers, too. Take someone who's, say, 14 to 17 years old. They can tick yes and get added to something called the Register of Future Electors. That means the second they turn 18, they're automatically added to the real voters list. No fuss, no muss. It makes voting for the first time totally seamless. So, wow, we've gone through a lot, right? Names, numbers, addresses, marital status. But if you're going to remember just one single thing from all of this, what's the most important takeaway? It's this. Think of your tax return as a snapshot in time, a picture taken at the stroke of midnight on December 31st. And you need to ask yourself, is the information on this return a true picture of me in that exact moment? Was that my address? Was that my marital status? If you can confidently say yes, and every detail is an accurate snapshot of that specific date, then you've just done the single best thing to guarantee yourself a smooth, hassle-free tax season.